Russian forces going to war by buses, soldiers without support of vehicles, and 50-years-old weapons. This is What About Ukraine channel, day 364, 21st of February 2023. Today we start with the main thesis said by the head of intelligence of Ukraine in a recent interview. Kirill Budanov has been leading a very important direction for about 3 years, especially now, when there is a full-scale war in Ukraine. In recent issues, we have already said that the Russian army uses manpower tactics. According to the chief intelligence officer, this not only shows but is a fact that the Russians are running out of ammunition. The main amount of shells is concentrated only in the direction of Bakhmut, and armored vehicles are generally few, if not completely absent. This has already been noticed many times by our military. The enemy goes into battle without the support of equipment, without the support of artillery, or even vehicles. The world has already seen all this 90 years ago. Among other things, he added that no matter how much Russia calls on its citizens to fight, the security will continue to get worse. In the near future, the occupiers' troops will go to the front on buses, holding very old weapons in their hands, and there will be no equipment or vehicles at all. In recent years, many countries have sold their stockpiles of ammunition, and now it's not such an easy task to establish production. Although, on the other hand, we know how accurate the Western 155 mm caliber artillery is, and how unsuccessful the Soviet 152 mm caliber artillery is. What is interesting in this story is that the so-called import substitution is not happening as it is shown in Russian channels. Without many components, the military industry cannot produce enough missiles, tanks, or artillery. Only in order to at least somehow fix the process, Russia is forced to buy household appliances in China, which will then be disassembled into microcircuits, which in turn will be used in missiles. All these words can be clearly seen on the battlefield. Undoubtedly, it's very difficult for the Ukrainian defenders because the enemy is outnumbered, and all units, all soldiers are exhausted in such a time. But the offensive that began 2 weeks ago across the entire eastern part of Ukraine stopped at the same moment, because this war will never again be a blitzkrieg, and everyone understands what enemy does Ukrainian army against to. Among other things, let's go to the map and see what happened in the last day. First of all, let's take a look on Kharkiv region. The enemy continues to concentrate his efforts on conducting offensive actions near Granikivka, Kupiansk district. The city of Kharkiv again became the target of modified S-300 missiles. Many explosions rang out in the city. Information about the victims is being clarified. Next, we are going to Crimea direction. Heavy positional battles continue in this direction. Part of the T-72 and T-90 tanks were moved in this direction, but in the first battle the enemy suffered heavy losses and retreated. Next, we are going to Bakhmut direction. This vector also didn't undergo significant changes. Here, according to the distribution of Russian publics, it is possible to comment on the disastification of the Wagner Group with the supply of weapons and ammunition. In addition, photos of a large number of victims from this group are circulating in the network. The direction of Vuhledar, Zaporizhia, and Kherson are generally unchanged. Defensive operation is underway here. A lot of artillery battles also going now. During the day, the air forces of the defense forces of Ukraine carried out 10 strikes on the areas of concentration of personnel and military equipment of the occupiers. Units of missile troops and artillery during the day struck two areas of concentration of the enemy manpower. And that's all we have for today. Don't forget to leave comments and likes. Subscribe to our channel as well as the community on Twitter. Stay tuned, stay safe. Glory to Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!